You will never have to worry about the topic of graphs ever again. I will help you develop the intuition behind every single algorithm. You don't have to mug up any algorithms. We'll be starting from absolute beginner level and we'll be understanding even the advanced level graph algorithms end to end. I'll help you develop the intuition for it. This is the extensive playlist. It is your one-stop solution. We will cover all the lead code questions. I will be writing code in both C++ and Java. Plus, I will help you build the thought process, the approach towards every single question, how to identify the question, how to think in a particular direction. And all you have to do is subscribe and make sure you do not miss any videos. The videos are already scheduled. Everything is free for you, no charge. You just have to show up with me and make sure you watch the entire playlist. Let's get started. Since this is the first video, let's start with understanding the basics of the graphs, how to identify that this is a graph question or why do we need graphs, how to represent them, and all the terms that you need to understand related to graphs. So the first thing that you need to understand is that graph is a non-linear data structure. What does a non-linear data structure mean? You must have seen arrays, right? They look like this. Or you must have seen linked lists. They look like this. Both of them are linear, right? Graphs may necessarily not be linear. They may be linear, may not be linear. Like for example, this is a graph, or this is a graph, or even this is a graph, right? All of these are graphs. Now, why do we need graphs? Whenever we have to represent complex relationships together, we can represent it by graph. Now, what do I mean by complex relationships? Like for example, you can think of a graph representing all the cities together, connected, like cities A, B, C, D connected together. Like you can think of it like this, A, B, C, D, E, F connected like this. Now this could be connected like this, or there might be another city over here and you might have connected like this, right? So all the cities being connected together could be a graph. Or social media, are they connected to each other or not? All of these cases you can represent by graph. Now here in the representation of the graph, as I'm drawing the graph, you will see two main important things. One is that I am drawing these circles, correct? These are called nodes or entities or vertices. The singular form of vertices is vertex. So either a node or a vertex or a particular entity, you can think of it like a particular city or a particular person in a social network. That is where your data lies, correct? And then those nodes or entities or vertices are connected by these lines. These are called edges. So these edges actually represent the relationships between these nodes. There is one more common data structure that is non-linear, that is also represented by nodes and edges, and it looks a lot like graph. Can you think of what I am talking about? Yes, I am talking about trees. Now this is a tree. Is this also a graph? So while I was drawing the examples of the graph, I drew this and I said this is also a graph and this is also a graph, this is also a graph. Then what is the difference between tree and graph? Tree is actually a special kind of graph. So all trees are graphs, but not vice versa. So not all graphs are trees, but all trees are actually graphs. So tree is basically a special kind of graph. So everything that we are going to learn in graphs can actually also be applied in trees, but because trees are a special kind of graphs, they are actually simpler, right? So the algorithms over there become actually simpler and it becomes harder in graphs comparatively. Why? Because graphs may have cycles, right? So this is also a graph, it is also a tree. This is also a graph and a tree. While this is a graph, it is not a tree. Now, if a graph has cycles, then you can also call it a cyclic graph. If it does not have cycles, you can call it acyclic graph. So I hope this makes it clear that what is the difference between a tree and a graph. Basically, tree will never have any cycles. Graphs may or may not have cycles. Tree is a special kind of graph. All trees are graphs, all graphs are not trees. Simple stuff. We discussed that graphs represent relationships like cities or social media. Now, for example, there are a group of friends A, B, C, D. Now, it is possible that A follows B, but B does not follow A because B does not like A, or B follows D and D follows A, and A follows C and B and D. Basically, A follows everyone, but B is very choosy, follows only D, right? In that case, how is this different from this graph? If you think about it, there is a directed connection, correct? like over here, you can also think of it like cities. Now, there might be a flight or a road connected from A to B, but there might not be any flight or a train, or maybe there was a one way only from A to B and there is no flight or any way to go from B to A, right? Now, road seems not a real example, but you can think of it like flights or trains or any other connection. Basically, there is a connection from A to B, but there is no connection from B to A. So, in these cases, the graphs are represented by directed edges. So, you will represent an arrow that you can go from A to B, but you cannot go from B to A. That is called a directed graph. This is called an undirected graph. Now, some people can get confused by the term undirected. If you get confused by the term undirected, what you need to do is you just need to visualize it like this. Basically, think like this, that you can go from A to B also and B to A also. Similarly, if this is the edge B to C, then you can think of it like you can go from B to C also and you can go from C to B also. Similarly, this you can see from here to here and here to here. Similarly, DA, you can see that you can go from A to D and you can go from D to A as well. So, you can also think of it like a bidirected graph. Instead of undirected, the easier way to think of it is like bidirected. So, whenever you think of undirected graph, think of it like that you can go from A to B also and B to A also, versus in a directed graph, you can only go from one node to another node, but you may not be necessarily be able to go from B to A. There might be another way to go. Like for example, if these are basically cities, then then there is a direct flight from say A to B. There is no direct flight from B to A, but you can go from B to D and then from D to A, right? So there is a way, there is a path possible from B to A, but not a direct one. So there's like another path possible, okay? So this is called a directed graph, this is called an undirected graph. So you have learned two jargons till now, two types of graphs. One is cyclic, acyclic, another is directed, undirected. You need to understand these things because in questions and interviews, you need to think of these things, that the graph that is given to you, is it cyclic or acyclic, is it directed or undirected? Similarly, we will learn some more jargons. Another thing to note over here is that in tree, although I drew like this, the correct representation of tree is like this. Basically, there is a parent or there is a root node, there is a parent node, and then it has children. So, in a binary tree, if you have seen, there is a left node and there is a right node, left child and a right child. Similarly, this is a binary tree, but you can have n children, any number of children, correct? So, all trees are basically directed. All trees are directed graphs and they are all acyclic, correct? Versus graphs may be directed or undirected as we saw, and they may be cyclic or acyclic. So all trees are directed graphs and they are acyclic. Your graphs may be directed or undirected. Your graphs may be cyclic or acyclic. Now this is just to make you understand the differences. Also, that is why while studying trees, you will see the term children used a lot, that there is parent and then there are children nodes. Versus in graphs, we will not use the term parent or children, we will use the term adjacent nodes. So basically, if this is my one node, these all nodes are adjacent nodes, right? So this is the adjacent node of A, like D and B are adjacent nodes. For C, these are the adjacent nodes, or neighbors. You will hear the terms neighbors or adjacent nodes being used. Versus in trees, because it is directed, there is a parent, there are children, you will hear the term children being used a lot. Now suppose you have to go from city A to city B and there are many flights for it. Like for example, there is one Indigo flight, there is one Air India flight, there is one Go Air flight and so on. And you need to compare that which is the best flight for you. How do you compare? The prices. Now basically you are associating each edge with a particular price or a particular weight or a cost. Weight or a cost. So here maybe this flight cost you 3000 rupees from A to B. Maybe this flight cost you 2800 rupees. Maybe this cost you 3200 rupees. So like this, you are associating a weight for a particular edge or for a particular path, that for going from A to B, this is the cost or this is the weight of the edge. So these graphs are called weighted graphs. And if you do not associate any weight or cost for going from A to B, then you can just say that there are different paths and these are called unweighted graphs. Now you can also visualize unweighted as weight equal to same. Basically your weight can be same, suppose for X, or maybe your weight is equal to 1. Basically the cost of going from A to B is same from all of these edges, right? So if there are different edges to go from A to B, all of them cost you same. Versus over here, maybe the distance is different, maybe the cost is different or something else is different that you want to represent by this weight. So yes, this is the another kind that you need to keep in mind, weighted and unweighted graphs. Why am I telling you all of this is because these are the questions that you need to ask your interviewer on. Keep in mind while approaching every single question. For every graph you need to see, is it cyclic, acyclic, is it directed, undirected, is it weighted, unweighted? The way you represent them, the way you approach all of these graphs is going to be different. There is one last term that you need to understand, which is called connectivity. This is a very, very important concept when it comes to graphs. Basically, to understand it in very simple terms, think of it like this. Suppose we are friends A and B, and then there are another bunch of friends, say C, D and E. Now, A, B know each other and C, D, E are connected, but there is no connection, or basically A and D have no idea about each other. They are not friends, they are not connected to each other. Similarly, B is not connected to C, D or E, A is not connected to C, D, E, right? So this is one entire graph. Maybe they are all in one class, but they do not know each other. There is no connection between them. So what we call this is called a component, this is called another component. So this entire thing is basically a disconnected graph. So yes, the last term that you need to understand is connected and disconnected. So these are very simple terms, right? Actually, when you think about it, these are very simple questions that you need to be asking for every graph. Are there cycles possible? Basically, is the graph cyclic or acyclic? Are the edges one way? Basically, is it directed or undirected? Do the edges have a cost or a weight associated with them? So is it a weighted or an unweighted graph? Similarly, is it connected or disconnected graph? Basically, in a disconnected graph, what will happen is that if I start from A, maybe there are some other nodes that are not reachable from a particular node. So reachability is one thing that you will hear a lot, that are all the nodes reachable from B? No, because it is a disconnected graph, right? Similarly, when it comes to directed graphs, you will hear the term strongly connected graphs. We will talk about this a lot in coming videos, so don't worry about it if it is getting overwhelming right now, because we'll do so many questions, we'll go through these terms so much that you will get used to them. So there's another term that you will hear, strongly connected graph or strongly connected components. We'll also pick up questions like, is the graph strongly connected, or is it completely connected, or is it disconnected graph, things like this. So we will be discussing this in detail, and do not worry about it. Just keep these 4 things in mind. These are the most important terms that you need to understand and need to think about in every single graph question. Coming to the last topic, and this is one last term that I need you to understand. Now, there are very less number of people who discuss this, but understanding this will help you understand a lot of concepts in a very easy way. So just bear with me for 2 more minutes. This last thing that you need to understand, is your graph sparse or dense? Now, this is something that will not be given to you in the questions, but it will help you understand algorithms better. Basic thing is, suppose there are some vertices in a particular graph. If there are a lot of edges, basically you can think of it like if there's an edge between every pair of nodes. So basically there's an edge over here, there's an edge over here, there's another edge. Basically, in very simple terms, if the number of edges is a lot more than the number of vertices, you can think of it like a dense graph. Similarly, you can think of sparse graph as, suppose there are say 1000 or 100 nodes, but there are very few edges, like 5 or 6 edges. So you have a lot of entities, but they are not really connected to each other. That's called a sparse graph. Now, this is something that will not be given in the question, but it will help you understand a few concepts very clearly, and that is why I wanted to mention this, sparse and dense graphs. Other than this, you will just hear one more term being used, which is bipartite and the degree of nodes in the graphs. We will discuss this in coming videos in future. We are not picking up right now. I hope these terms are very easy to understand. I know these are jargons and it might be a lot of theory right now, but the things are going to get very, very interesting from the next video. We will start talking about the representations of the graph and a few algorithms. So I hope you're going to show up. Please do subscribe and please do hit the notification bell icon so that you do not miss any videos, and stay with me. Make sure that you watch all the videos so that you become a pro in graphs, and check out 𝐸𝐸𝐻. If you like all the effort that I'm putting in, please do consider subscribing. It will mean a lot to me, and I hope it will help you also stay consistent. See you next time.